I wanted to make this video talking about cancel culture and relitigating your past on the internet in a present tense, because it's a topic I often think about and something that we're seeing in the news a lot lately, something that was in the news a lot in 2018, from James Gunn being fired by Disney for his past tweets, which are quote-unquote jokes. Kind of hard to defend jokes, shock humor, but comments nonetheless that he had previously disavowed. Kevin Hart stepping down as the host of the Academy Awards due to public pressure over past homophobic tweets and comments he had made. And even Kyler Murray, if you're into college football, Kyler Murray won the Heisman recently, and there were some articles popping up about how he previously tweeted homophobic things when he was 14 years old. And in this video, I am not trying to defend homophobia or defend jokes. You can have your own opinion of what is humor or what isn't humor. I simply want to look at the issue of litigating your past in a present tense, all of our pasts in a present tense, because it's something I think about for myself personally. This past year on YouTube, I made the choice to private all of my videos that were demonetized, which is a lot of episodes of a popular series I upload called Shit From Last Week, and many other things on my channel. Some things I kind of combed through and said, all right, even though that wasn't demonetized, I don't want that on my channel, but I decided to remove 45 million views from my channel. Not a brave decision by me, because I was not making a lot of money on those 45-ish million views, old videos. But a decision I made because of what we see in the media today and in society, where we like to relitigate the past in a present tense. And if you can allow me to go on a quick tangent, by the way, think about the people that founded this country, the United States of America. Wrote some great things about humanity, created a great framework for how our country was to be in the years into the future. By the way, slavery was a thing back then. You want to relitigate the past in a present tense, it doesn't always go so well. Even in the recent past, there was I grew up in a more homophobic country. And I am glad that I live in the current day when I really could not give two shits less about whether or not you're having sex with people of your same gender, and the homophobic part of it is just one part of it, because there's going to be issues in the future where we're going to look, I mean, if we were having this conversation in the 80s, maybe it would be about race, or it's just, there's always these societal issues, and this is the prominent one lately that you've seen, the cancel culture that you've seen. Also, a lot of misogynistic issues that are always prevalent in the United States of America, and I feel like it's gotten better, but, you know, cancel culture also includes topics like that. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video, and I privated my videos because I worry about my past catching up with me. I have certainly grown since I started YouTube. I was 21 years old, and I liked a lot of humor that I find extremely cringeworthy close to 30, about to have my first child. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't feel like societal pressure is crushing my sense of humor. I mean, you don't see a lot of 60-year-olds watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I mean, if 60-year-olds like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, I don't want to judge them for that, but I think you guys know what I mean when I say when you get older, your sense of what is entertaining changes, and that's totally okay. And it's a sign of growth and maturation. It's a good thing. Someone I like to compare myself to is Bo Burnham, because he was born a month before me. So we're about the same age, and he also had a YouTube career, a very prominent YouTube career early on in YouTube, had some of the most viral videos on the site back in the early days of YouTube. And then he did some things I haven't done yet, like become a super successful stand-up comedian and write and direct his own movie. Those are probably down the line for me, you know. We're working on some stuff. But he was on a tour, on a press tour, promoting his new movie, 8th Grade. And he gave this quote that I feel so encapsulates my own feelings about relitigating your past on the internet and cancel culture and societal issues that we are going to have to deal with many, many years into the future, as we have put so much information about ourselves online in this millennial generation. So he was talking to Terry Gross of NPR's Fresh Air, and this is the quote he gave when asked how he feels about watching his old content. And if you know Bo, Some of it's pretty edgy, so here's what he said about it. I don't defend my 16-year-old comedy at all. And like, even part of this movie is me going back and trying to forgive myself for what I was expressing at that time. I have a lot of material from back then that I'm not proud of, and I think is offensive, and I think is not helpful. But also, I can't regret a bit of it, because I deeply believe in the butterfly effect, and I am so grateful to be here right now. I do not think my intention with my first video, My Whole Family, was homophobic, but what is the implicit comedy of that song if you chase it all the way down? I don't think it's perfectly morally defendable. But the issue is, and it'll be an issue I think for a lot of young creative people, the first stuff I wrote is out there for everybody to see. So I just hope on my own behalf and on other people's behalf, we're still allowed to think out loud and fail publicly and grow. At a certain point, every presidential candidate is going to have every bad joke they made when they're 13 immortalized online. So at a certain point, we're going to have to call amnesty and just get on with it. And this is the issue for me. You can see the rough drafts of my personality online. You can see the type of things I said and did when I was in my early 20s, and you will probably be able to see those things until the day I die. No matter how much I make an effort to disavow them or hide them, they will be found. And I'm sure my kids someday will see some of my early works, and it will raise questions in their mind about my character. I hope they can see how I've grown since then. I'm not able to see what my parents were doing when they were in their early 20s. I'm sure I was consummated at a Def Leppard concert or something. The 80s were a crazy time. And I kind of like not being able to see my parents then, because what is important to me is my parents now. My parents when they were raising me. That is the important context. We are not finished as humans until, if we're going good, the day we die. If you want to talk to the best version of Joel Goss, talk to me 5 seconds before I die. I hope that is the best possible version of myself, unless I die in a botched bank robbery that ends in a shootout. That is, talk to me before that happens. That's probably not the best version of myself. But in the context of living a good life and making mistakes and trying to learn and grow every day, the best version of yourself should be the version right before you die, when you're an old person, hopefully, all you viewers out there. And I hope you guys don't misconstrue this video as me trying to apologize for my old content that you maybe connected with at the time, that brought you to my channel, because I don't feel the need to apologize for it. Like the Bo quote said, it led me to where I am today, and I very much like me today. But I also can't defend it. More than anything, I just don't find it entertaining. If you're going to go out on that limb, it has to be entertaining, and things that are entertaining in the past aren't always entertaining today. How many people are watching Gilligan's Island on Netflix? Is it even on Netflix? Do you guys even know what Gilligan's Island is? It's like SpongeBob SquarePants, but it's above the water on an island, and it's nothing like SpongeBob SquarePants. I don't even know why I made that comparison. Things are usually entertaining within a certain acceptable amount of years in the culture that they're in. And then we're beyond that. And sometimes it's very offensive in the past. It's something that we need to remember as a society as it becomes easier and easier to access the past. Whenever I'm having conversations about social issues, I always like to remind myself I am in the least prejudiced against social class in the United States of America. I am a middle class to upper middle class, white male. There are many people who live in this country and go through the same types of days I do, but experience life very differently because of things they can't control. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm also heterosexual, unless I'm trying to get more YouTube subscribers. And then, I could go either way. Just kidding, I'm committed to my wife. But there are people who, go through the same Tuesdays in America that I do, but they experience things very differently because of things they can't control, like their gender, like their race, like their sexuality. And I will not apologize for how I am, but I also need to remember that I am very lucky to be able to look at these social issues the way I do, because I don't experience the prejudices that many other people do on a daily basis. The point I'm trying to come to in this video is I hope that we as a society can have more empathy for one another and realize when people made mistakes and why they made those mistakes and what the context and culture surrounding them at the time of those mistakes were. And if they continue to make mistakes and they don't continue to grow, that's certainly different than isolated mistakes in a certain time period that you can see the growth from. But I hope we can be empathetic and take things on a case-by-case basis and realize that one event is not equivalent or equal to another event. These are all things that are very difficult to do because as humans, we like to categorize things. And this person is equal to this person is equal to this person. Cancel them all. Just cancel them all. For saying things, for making comments that you can learn from and you can grow from, I just wish people would take it as a learning opportunity and not an opportunity to hit people over the head with the social media baseball bat. It's really gross. It doesn't allow for expression. I think it breaks down our community, our connection to each other. I mean, that to me is tearing apart the cultural fabric. If you can't have discussions, difficult discussions with other people about things they've done in the past, about issues we're facing currently, I just want people to be more empathetic. I feel like I might as well be screaming this at the wall in my office because I don't know how it can happen. But it is my one great hope in my time on earth. When I'm raising my child, I want to, and hopefully have multiple children, but with the child on the way, something on my mind is I want to raise this person to be an empathetic person, to have a sense of empathy towards the world and a sense of growing and learning from their mistakes. So that's my commentary. That's what was on my mind. I hope you guys appreciated this. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like button. Leave a comment below about what you think about cancel culture and our social media histories catching up to us. And leave a comment about what you imagine the 2042 presidential debates will look like, where one candidate tries to pin another candidate into answering the question, why were you butt-chugging at a frat party in 2013? Just answer it. You can't be the president, liar. Can't butt chug and be the president. I love you all. Bye.